So far, we have talked about operations on numbers mostly, right? So either the number was an integer or a float, and we have seen operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, which work on numbers. But you can also perform operations on strings. Okay? And remember, a string is nothing but text, right? A string is essentially text, alphanumeric, right? And a string literal is enclosed in single quotes or double quotes. Okay. Now, as it turns out, you can use the same two of the same operators that you have used on integers, and you can use these operators in string operations as well. Okay, so the two operators that we use are the plus and the star. Okay, the plus is for concatenation, which is adding two strings, essentially adding two strings, which is one after the other, right? And the star is used for repetition. Okay, essentially adding a string with itself, adding a string with itself. Okay, so this is how it works. Let's say we have a string. Let's say we have a string hello. Let's have a string variable a equals hello, and another string variable b equals world. Okay, so when you print a plus b, this will give you hello world. Just note that there won't be any spaces between the hello and the world, because it does not add spaces when it joins strings. Okay, if you want to do that, you have to add the space yourself. So you have to do something like a plus b, sorry, this is confusing, uh, c equals a plus b. Okay, and the value of c would be hello world. Okay, um, now, as I was saying, if you want to add a space, you would have to do that yourself. So if you want to add a space between the hello and the world, you have to say something like c equals a plus a space within inverted commas or quotes plus b. Okay, and then if you print c, it will give you hello space world. Okay, so that's how you concatenate strings. Okay, you just use the plus, and that adds one string after the other. You can obviously do the same thing. Instead of using variables, you can actually do the thing with literals as well. So you can say c equals hello plus world. You can absolutely do that as well. And then the value of c would be hello world without spaces. Okay. Uh, so that's concatenation. That's string concatenation for you. The next operation that we can do on strings is repetition. Okay, and what's repetition? Repetition is intuitively it is like multiplication, right? So when you multiply, let's say 5 times 3, what you're essentially doing is 5 plus 5 plus 5, right? This is 3 times, right? If you say let's clear this space a little bit. If you want to say if you want to say uh, 10 times 5, this would be, right, 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, 5 times, right? String repetition works in the same way. Let's say you have a string hi, that's your string. Okay, so if you say hi times 3, this will give you essentially hi plus hi plus hi 3 times. which is equal to this. Okay, so that's how string repetition works. Okay, now let's see the string operations in action. Okay, so let's try concatenation first. So let's have a string variable a, and the value containing the value hello, right? Hello. Uh, okay, and another variable b containing the value world. When we type a plus b, it gives us hello world, which is as expected, right? If you say a plus space plus b, it will give you hello space world, right? Uh, if you said let's forget variables, okay? Hello times two, we'll say hello hello, right? If you add a space after the hello, it will say hello hello space hello, right? But then you'll see that there is a space after this hello as well. But that's fine. I mean, that's completely okay. So pretty simple, right? So that's how string concatenation and repetition works. Uh, just uh, just a quick note. I'm sure you have observed this already, but string repetition, right? String repetition takes a number as an argument as opposed to another string, right? So when you concatenate strings, it's normally one string like hello with another string, okay, like world. But repetition is different. In repetition, what you have is one string such as hello and a number such as 3. Okay, uh, so you cannot have something like hello and then some other string. So repetition needs a string and a number. uh, the other thing is, in some programming languages, again, if this is your first programming language and you don't understand what I mean, that's completely okay. But if you come from a different language such as Java, in Java you can have something like hello plus 5, let's say, and this would not be a problem. Okay, this would actually print hello 5. But in Python you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot add a string with a number. Okay, what happens when we try to do that? Let's see. So let's try this. Let's try uh, hello plus 5. It says can only concatenate string, not int to string. Okay, so it says can only concatenate string to string, not int to string. So that the error message itself is pretty helpful, right? So it says I cannot do this. I cannot concatenate a 5 with the string. If you want to do that, if you want to concatenate 5, what do you have to do? Okay, maybe pause the video for a second and think about what you need to do if you want to concatenate 5 with hello. And the answer is you need to convert 5 to a string. And how do you convert 5 to a string? How do you convert 5 to a string? You have done this before, and the answer to that is str5, right? That's how you convert 5 to a string. So if you had to actually append a number to a string, you have to make sure that the value that you're appending is first converted to a string and then appended, okay, then concatenated. So if you had to append 5 to hello, you'd have to say hello plus str string of 5, right? And that would give you hello 5. Okay, okay, a quick note about string repetition. uh, when you have string repetition such as high times 3, high times 3, right? The order of the number versus the versus the string does not matter. So you could also say 3 times high. Same thing, same result, right? Which is what you'd expect from a multiplication anyways, right? Because 5 times 3 and 3 times 5 is the same thing, right? So same with strings, okay?